Today I'm going to show you a desktop arcade machine which I bought from HMV at a knockdown price. I'm sure some of you people will have seen this on their website hmv.com and are dying to find out what you actually get for your money. So this is the box it came in. I've already opened it. The box weighs 15 kilos, so it's quite heavy. Packaging isn't so great, but that doesn't really matter because it's quite a strong and sturdy machine. This is a machine there. I'll be getting it out in a second. And this is what you get with it. It's made by Mighty Mast Leisure, which I think is a UK company, and they do have it online, but obviously at a higher price. I'm not expecting it to be the most brilliant arcade machine, but I was eager to find out what you actually get for your money, and I'm sure you are too. Right, so this is the Arcade Baby. Quite a nice machine, really. Let's quickly give you some measurements. I cheated on this. I got the measurements on the company's website. But I'll still prove it to you anyway. So width is 34.5, which looks about right. Depth is 31.5. That looks okay. And the height is 52. Yeah, it looks alright. That's all in centimeters. The display itself looks to be about 10-inch diagonal, which is about 25 centimeters. It's a 4:3 display. It uses hub controls. That's an 8-way joystick. Nice hub buttons. These are hub as well. Not too sure on the layout, but I'm not really complaining too much. This is a pressed metal control panel. It's quite nice. This I think is acrylic or perspex. About this control panel, it's actually, if I can show you this, it's actually on a hinge. It's a metal hinge, so it looks like it's going to be able to flap open and you can get to all the console, all of the connectors on the buttons and the joystick. It's got some nice rubber feet. Right, it's time to turn it on. Boy, I can feel the 15 kilos weight. More buttons there's one on each side, same position each side. This is a nice sturdy, I think it's MDF they use, and it's been finished off with a vinyl laminate. Nice edging, what you tend to get in arcade machines. On the back of the cabinet you can see a door. There's another metal hinge going all the way down the left hand side, and the door was kept in place by 2 wood screws which I have removed. Down the bottom you can see a volume control. To the left of that is the mains input and a on-off switch. A couple of stickers there, one just to give the serial number and the manufacturer, and the other one telling you not to open up the door. I apologise for the jump shot here. I found that my video which I took didn't actually come out too well. So anyway, we're looking at the inside of the Arcade Baby. And I'm sorry also for the shaky camera because I'm not using a tripod this time. So inside we have volume control PCB, input for power. The power cables for the power go along up into the top area where there's a power supply adapter, and it will then pump out something like 12 volts. The 12 volt cable comes down here. Somewhere in amongst these cables it gets split into two feeds. The cables go along. One feed goes to this controller board for the games. Actually, this is two boards together. You've got the controller, the games controller board there, and then you've got the joystick and buttons controller board sitting on the top of it. This is a power supply that goes into it. On the other side, this is the VGA, TFT LCD VGA controller board. Quite a nice one, although I couldn't find any details for it, which is a bit unfortunate. And it's got a number of inputs. This is the power supply. This is the composite video in. This is a computer Super VGA in, HDMI in, and something USB, which not really that concerned. The daughter board will be specific for controlling the TFT screen. Although it's a dual board, they've only put the components in place for one screen. Hanging off the VGA board is a ribbon cable, goes along to this. This is important. Essentially, these are the buttons that allow you to select input for your video and make adjustments like horizontal, vertical, color, brightness, all that kind of stuff. Down on the bottom, right at the front there, are bits and pieces for joystick and buttons. They are all attached via this thick wire. The wire comes up and ends up on the controller board, which unfortunately is going to be proprietary. You cannot split that from the board. Down here you can see metal latches which hold the control panel in place, and I can see that it's just going to be a matter of quickly flipping the latches to release the control panel, and then I can get to work on connecting up on that. Anything else to show? This board is the game board, and they are rather foolishly using composite video out, and it's not shielded or anything like that, and so it's going to give a fairly rubbish display. But we don't really care about that because we are going to be using HDMI as our source for our video. There's a little PCB down here which is, I think, some kind of either regulator or converter, and so power source goes into it and then power comes out, and it either goes to the monitor or it might go to drive the speaker. Next thing to do is to tie it out. This is the system as it stands at the moment. Just going to power it on now. There it goes, straight in. That was really quick. Not the best display, I have to say, but I was expecting that, being that it was from composite. Select a game. Alright, okay, so you can move between your games using the joystick, and the next page you move to the next page via that. Right, let's pick a game. What can we pick? Don't recognise any of these. Dr. Mario I recognise. I have to say these are not great games. Circus Charlie I recognise. How many games have I got? Okay, 156 games are on here. The bottom one is Mooncrester. Let's have a look at Mooncrester. Oh, sorry, back to the start. Okay, that wasn't very good. Let's go with Bomb Jack. The mighty Bomb Jack. Okay. Oh, I can see all sorts of interference there. That's composite display for you. Okay. Can't remember how you play Bomb Jack. No, I don't know. What is it? What else is he supposed to? I think what I will try next is to plug in a Raspberry Pi and see what Raspberry Pi makes of this thing. So that's my next step. Okay. Okay, so we're now back with Arcade Baby, and I have some progress. As you can see on the screen, it is now running a proper arcade game, and that is being supplied by the Raspberry Pi device through the HDMI cable into the back, into the video card, and up on the screen. I had to use the on-screen menu, the little button side control the on-screen menu, to select HDMI as my input as opposed to AV, which was the composite input. It took a bit of fiddling about because I didn't have instructions. The video is looking great. It's colourful, it's sharp, and I'm well pleased with that. The original board for the games is still in Arcade Baby, so as you can hear, it's still in there, still has the control, but then it's just a matter of taking out the old games console board, the old controller board, moving Raspberry Pi in its place, sorting out a controller for joystick and the buttons and connecting it to Raspberry Pi, and then taking the sound from Raspberry Pi via the small headphone jack and figuring out how it connects to the loudspeaker in Arcade Baby. So generally speaking, it's been a really quick changeover for getting Arcade Baby working with Raspberry Pi instead, and for the price I paid for it, I think it's a really good buy. So hope you think that too.